Welcome back to the Temple Keeper podcast. I'm Matthew Hedden.
I'm Leah Hedden.
And we are the Temple Keepers. And you are at the podcast dedicated to helping Christians lose weight, honor God, and find freedom in their health so that they can serve the kingdom to the fullest. Today's episode is going to be a great one, and it is one that I know you've been waiting for. I know you've been asking for. It is, how do I simplify this whole food? Before we get started, let's open up in prayer. Father God in heaven, we're grateful. We are so thankful for you. For every breath we take, we say your name. Every moment of our lives, may we glorify you. May your words speak through us, and may you use us. And may everyone that hears grow just a little bit closer to you and be able to serve just a little bit more and find a little bit more freedom. In Jesus Christ's holy name we pray. So if you are someone that has been wanting to simplify your nutrition, that struggles to know how to make a dadgum plate with today's noise and food, what foods to pick, how do I do this in my busy schedule? I'm all over the place. I'm traveling, right? Like, what do? I don't have time to meal prep. If that's you, or if you struggle with late night snacking, binge eating at night, or emotional eating, stick around to the end. We're covering that one as well. So, shameless plug time. If this episode serves you in any way, be sure to like, comment, and share so that we can serve. Leah, I'm going to start with you.
Oh, okay.
The world is crazy.
Yes,
the world is busy. And one of the biggest things that we hear all the time is, I don't have the time. I don't know what to do. All of these things. Now, before I showed up, you were a single mother of 3 and a school teacher and working 2 side hustle jobs just to make ends meet. And yet you still cooked. You still meal prepped, and you still worked out. You're a superhero. All moms are superheroes. But how in the world did you manage to do that? Because nobody in the world that I know is busier than that.
Yeah, that's true. So I think a lot of it goes back to, well, first of all, your comment about like the world tells us that, everything is so complicated and we don't know what the truth is, or wheels are always spinning. There's so much noise. And so when I came to this crossroads in my life where I was the only one that was responsible for myself and everything, including my 3 kids, I knew that my one solution was to go to God. So I got as close to him as I could. And me focusing on him, he was then able to direct my paths and my steps. And so I really focused on saying yes to the things that he wanted me to do. With that came a lot of things that I did end up saying no to, but I knew what my priorities were, and that is what I focused on.
So even when it came to nutrition, even when it came to all of these things, it was focused on God first. It was not actually about the nutrition for you.
Right. Well, it was, I wanted to be healthy so I could be the best mom. I wanted to honor him. I wanted my kids to grow up knowing him and having a mom that was able to do all the things that needed to be done.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, the pull of the world to run to and fro with kids, all the kids, now our kids, Madeline, Mason, and Mallory, all being in sports and you working all of these jobs. Mm-hmm. I know there was a pull to do quick, easy, grab on the go, eat Chick-fil-A every day, do those things, of course. So, but in your words, that would not actually be stewarding God's temple very well, or your children's health very well, or his money very well. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. So I've always known food is really important to God. It's the second thing that he said after he created Adam. He told him what to eat. So if that's the second thing he's going to tell man, we know that that's of extreme importance to the Lord. And as far as food goes in society, a lot of us eat just to fill ourselves, whereas God provides food for us to fuel us so we can do what he's created us to do. And so I've always made it a priority to try and eat healthy. Now, since I met you, I've gotten it a whole lot better. And since we've dove into even more with scripture, there's been a lot of clarity. So I think I do need to point that out too, that there have been stepping stones along the way. It wasn't just this complete shift where we were on point with our nutrition. We've learned a lot along the way, and we get better every day, every week.
Yeah, so we love that you bring that up because it's very important. We've had people in the Temple Keeper Academy mention this, that it can be very easy to compare where they are or where you are to where we are now. And that's just simply not fair. We did not start there. And there have been progressions. So doing this, you had to make it simple. Obviously, you had to simplify it for time. Yes. You had to simplify it for monetary reasons because there's not a lot of there. I mean, there was no extra money. Let's be very clear. Like there was no extra money. You had not taken a vacation in 5 years, like just for yourself, because there wasn't the time, there wasn't the money, there wasn't that bandwidth, there was nothing. Matter of fact, you were just, and I quote, if hopefully you don't get mad at me for saying this, like you were struggling just to keep your head above water, just to feel like you weren't drowning sometimes. So with that, how in the world did you make nutrition simple? Like, how did you say, how do I keep this simple? You know, that's one of my favorite questions. How would this look if it was simple? So that's the point of this entire episode, is how would this look if it was simple? So Leah, how do you simplify your food choices?
So I think for me, the biggest was I'm all about schedules and routines. So on the weekends, I would meal prep, and I knew that I would eat the same thing for breakfast all week. And I found something that I really enjoyed eating, and I could make it on the weekend. It took about 20 minutes, and then I had it all week. So bam, my breakfast is taken care of for the whole entire week. And I did the same thing with my lunch as well. People would make fun of me at school because I literally ate the same thing every single day for lunch. However, it's so smart because it was nutritious. I enjoyed it. I meal prepped it on the weekend, so I had it every day, and it was pretty low cost too.
So your breakfast and your lunch, basically total for the whole week, took you, outside of microwaving, less than an hour.
Less than an hour on the weekend, but I had to be intentional with that to make sure that I actually followed through and did it ahead of time.
But like when you did, because there had to be times where, I know there were times, you told me, and we live it, right? Where we don't get it done.
Right.
Right? Like how was that being the single mom, like, and the teacher and all that? What happened with the days where you didn't have your breakfast or your lunches done?
I had backup. I did. Like I would have frozen like the Jimmy Dean Delights or Lean Cuisines things. Yeah. So I did. I had backup. It wasn't the best option, but I always had backup there that would still be better than nothing, and wouldn't leave me scrambling.
I think that's a great point, right? So to speak on that real quick, so many people, when plan A fails, everything goes to heck, right? And so our habits tend to be not the best, right? Like our habits are just, if you show me a person where they are now, I can show you what they look like if you just show me their habits. Show me your habits and I will show you your future. And so a lot of times our habits are what get us stuck. So we fall to the level of our systems. And if we don't have systems, we fall to the level of our habits. So you had systems and habits to fall back on.
Yeah.
So you had a plan B.
Yeah. And then I think as far as I do need to touch on dinner as well, because that's really, I think, a crazy part for everybody, whether you're single, working, or married and have support at home, is that you just, in order to simplify the dinner piece, what I had was sat down with the kids and figured out, well, what foods do you like? And so once I knew the foods everybody liked, then I would build meals off of that. Probably had like 4 or 5 set meals, and we would just rotate through them. I would always cook extra. So if we were doing, say, grilled chicken, I would double up on the chicken just so then we would have extra chicken for the next night. So maybe the first night it's grilled barbecue chicken. Well, then the next night I can take the extra chicken and we can turn that into tacos. So it's just working through little things.
It's working like smarter, not harder. Yeah. Now I got to stop you, right? Like, because let's be real. Like I was a kid, you were a kid, everybody, like y'all got kids, we were all kids if you're listening to this. Now, when you say food, most kids are going to list mac and cheese, chicken nuggets, those things. Mm-hmm. Now, if you've listened to us for a while, we don't consider that food. We consider it a consumable product. So how did you, like, I've watched us do this, and I've watched you do it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that's so simple. Brain popcorn, like ridiculous, right? Like, so it's again where I'm just like, you're a superhero. And you have to be. Moms, I'm going to speak into you too. You have to be. Like, we know that. How were you able to narrow it down so you didn't get this list of Pop-Tarts, mac and cheese, chicken tenders? Right. Like, don't you have a tool for that now?
Because that is what the kids would choose. And the kids still to this day, if there are consumable food products, they're going to gravitate towards them.
That's true.
They will. However, so we just made a sheet. We listed out proteins, vegetables, fruits on there, and then they wrote down the ones that they liked. I think we pulled up Google and said, give me a whole list of vegetables and proteins and all of that. So we wrote down what they liked. And yeah, actually now we have in the academy some really cool resources to help if you are not knowing how to get started on doing any of this. This is the God Food Meal Planning Guide. It has come in help for a lot of people. But basically I've taken what we've done and just written it out step by step.
Yeah, I think like if you could show them, like I think this is huge, just for them at home if they're not in the academy.
Yep. So there's a God food at a glance. So we have a list here of all different God foods, and you can go through it. I actually just went through this with my dad last month, and he circled all of the foods he loves, crossed off the ones that he doesn't like, because why should we eat something that we don't like? Yeah, and we went from there. So then you take the foods that you do enjoy, and then you use that. There's another page to create meals from there, and we keep the meals very simple. We start with lean protein as our base, and then we'll add on a side. Usually what we'll do is a vegetable, and then we'll also do a carb on the side. Some nights, though, we just keep it very simple. We just do the protein, and we'll do one side. It just depends, but it's a great starting point.
To back you up for a second, right? To back you up for a second, I know you mentioned circling.
Yes.
But I think one of the issues that so many people have is they focus on all the things they don't like. So what you're doing is focusing, again, from a biblical perspective, on focus on the positive.
Yes.
Meditate only on things that are good and holy. So if you're sitting there going, but I don't like this, but I don't like this, but I don't like this, I guarantee you there's a list of a lot of things that you do like. Focusing on the negative and listing the negative is going to make this too overwhelming, and you're never going to succeed.
Yep.
Like, it's not going to work. And so when I work with a client one-on-one, they're like, I don't like this. I don't care. I don't care what you don't like. Like, I know that's very blunt, like, but I don't care. That's not helpful to me. What is helpful is what you are willing to do and what you are willing to eat. And so that's what you focused on with your family. But in order to make that easier, if I'm correct, didn't you line through, right? You lined through the things that were off and then circled, and then some things got a star, right? Like, will you walk them through that?
So things that people really loved, we would star those because we would know those would be our main go-to, such as chicken thighs. That's my favorite. Yeah, so we would star the ones that we love the most.
So you would take this list, and you can Google Ask ChatGPT, or if you're in the academy, you know, we have this tool available. And I think this tool will actually be in our new guide that we have coming out, how to become how to be a temple keeper. So keep your eyes out for that one. Shameless plug. But yeah, just line through the things that are out. And just a tip for parents, like, because I think some kids are going to have a tendency to line through everything that's real food. I think that's simply like, no, right? Like, and we weren't super, I've watched us do this now as I've become a part of this family, and now that, like, head of this family, but there are always things that they will like. Always. And at no point did you ever, like, completely, or have we ever completely eliminated? Right, so we're going to keep this simple.
Yes. And there are no off-limit foods. We tend to eat the foods that God gave us because we know those foods are truly going to nourish our bodies, and that's why we eat. Are there some foods that we just enjoy eating? Yes. Is it okay to eat those foods once in a while? Absolutely. We just had some ice cream last night, but it's not a staple in our house. It's not something that we keep in the house. But yes, it is okay for us to eat some foods to enjoy. Having those conversations is really important.
We'll circle back to the keeping things in the house, but I love this tool right here. And then what you did, and the whole reason this guide is here, or that this got built out, is literally modeling what she's done with the kids. Right. So then what you did is, if you'll break this down for them, because you can build your own version of this, or we have it available. It says build your God meals: breakfast, lunch, dinner. All right. Protein and seasoning, veggie and seasoning, starchy carb. To break that down, to make it simple: protein, it's going to be meat. Okay. Things like beans and things like that, they have protein. Nuts, they have protein, but they are carbs and fats first, right? So if you look at the back of the label, that's, I'm going to just hit them with this. How do you know what's what? So the protein is, if there's more protein in it than there is a carb or a fat, then it's a protein. Now, how do you know that? Well, to keep it very simple, it's a protein if it's a meat, but some meats are fattier. So my simple rule is, eat the cut of meat you want to look like. Like, your boy right here ain't trying to look like a ribeye. Now, I'm not anti-ribeye. They're tasty, but I don't want to look like one. I want to look more like a top Angus filet, or I want, like, she looked like a filet. Like, that is a filet mignon right here. You are, ain't it? That's what I tend to eat. Now, I don't eat filet because I don't want to spend that money. And to me, ribeye, this is just a thing. Like, I don't want to spend that much money on something where I'm not going to eat the majority of it because it's just straight fat. And when it comes to veggies, like it's simple. Like we know what vegetables are. We know what fruits are. And a starchy carb, they're still veggies a lot of times, but like your corn, your potatoes, the sweet potatoes, the rice, the things like that, right? They are not bad. God put them here. I guarantee you that like the potato kept the Irish people alive forever. If rice made you fat, then all Japanese people would be overweight. That doesn't hold water. That's a very simple trick that I use. Does this pass the eye test? Oatmeal's bad for you. I don't know anyone that got really unhealthy from eating oatmeal. So that's my little sidebar, like how I use my kind of sarcastic logic lens to look at these things. Like, what are these things? Meat, fish, steak, chicken, beef. Like that's meat. That's a protein. Broccoli, spinach, greens, right? Those kind of things. Carrots, right? And one of the most ridiculous things I heard in a long time recently was, do you know how much sugar's in carrots? Nobody ever got overweight from eating a carrot. That's ridiculous. Stop it. And then the starchy carbs are going to be your corn, your white potatoes, your sweet potatoes, things like that. And they are good. To simplify it even further, PVC.
Protein, veggie, carb.
PV, sometimes C.
Yes. And just, can I add some tidbits too of things? So I, for years, was eating, it was a man-made, prepackaged turkey sausage that I thought was a great choice for me. However, then I learned, no, it's more of a fat than it was a protein. And so now what I do is I eat chicken sausage in the morning, but most of our meats that we purchase are from the butcher shop. And so it's literally the meat, and then we add seasonings to it. But the seasoning component has also been a huge stepping stone for us too, because we haven't always used the seasonings. We used to use sauces. And when I first started, I was just using normal sauces, normal ketchup, normal barbecue sauce. And then I learned, well, those are really high in calorie and they have tons of sugar in them. So then I moved to the alternatives that are either lower calorie, no sugar, low sugar, which that was a better choice. And then I learned about seasonings. Well, seasonings come from God. He provided seasonings for us to consume. Not only are they very flavorful, but they also have lots of nutrients in them. So as I've learned all of these things, now I very rarely gravitate towards the sauces. I would much rather add the seasonings for the flavor and the nutritional benefits. So those are just some things that I've learned along the way. The kids still, they prefer the sauces over the seasonings, but it's just one of those that we continue to have the conversations with them. Slowly but surely they're gravitating a little bit, but we're going to continue to implement these things because we know it's what is best for them.
Right. Like if you've got your kids, right? Like our kids' breakfast a lot of times is eggs and bacon. And if Mallory wants to put ketchup on the eggs, but she's eating that instead of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like we're doing pretty dadgum good here. So let's not get stuck in the minutia here. This is the simple. How would this look if it was simple? This is better than this. This is better than this. It is the same as like our sanctification path as far as becoming more holy and more righteous. You don't just overnight, like Paul did not meet Jesus on the road to Damascus and next thing you know, be fully equipped to be writing these letters from prison. It didn't happen overnight.
No. Took years.
Yeah, you're not going to go from dadgum DoorDash and fast food every night to eating things with no sauce and very little butter or oil overnight. Like, so don't beat yourself up if you're not right there right away.
And the reason why, I think it's important to talk about too, the reason why we do all of this is so we can glorify Him. We know God's ways are best. We know His system, it is simple. And so we want to honor Him in everything that we do. So when we can surrender every area of our life to Him, our life is going to become so much better. So we don't look at this from restriction at all, like, oh, I can't eat the ice cream, I can't eat that. No, I can, but I know that that's not going to fuel me for the calling that He's given me. We do all of this to glorify God, and when we know that we're eating these things and saying these things and doing these things, we're glorifying Him. His ways are best. That should bring us a ton of joy, tons of joy.
That's so good.
But the enemy is going to trick us into thinking, oh, that's a life of restriction. No, you don't want that. Oh, no, yes, I do. I absolutely want my Father to take care of me. Yeah. He knows what's best.
100%. Like, think about it to make this simple, right? Well, it seems like restriction and this is no, no, no. That's because you've been leaning on the world. The world told you can't eat that. And who was the first person to say that? Didn't the serpent say, did God really say you can't eat that?
Yes.
And the diet industry, and you yourself, and I was part of it for years, you can't have that. We're literally repeating the lie of the enemy and wondering why we're stuck. God says, wants you to have abundance. All things that God are created are good.
Like that God created are good.
Yeah, that God
That's
created.
another thing we get twisted.
And so that leads into one of my favorite simple questions. If you're evaluating your diet, this is the most simple question that I ask people. Take a look at your diet. What percentage of your food that you're eating is made by God versus man? If there's a bigger percentage of your food that is made by man, my question simply becomes, why do you trust man more than God? No, I don't. Sure you do.
And when we refer to God foods are usually single ingredient food. So like the food is the ingredient.
If you can pick it, grow it, catch it, or kill it.
Yeah, that's how you can tell if it's a God food.
Was it alive? Like if that thing was alive, it will probably lead you to being more alive. If that thing was never alive, probably not so much. So that is a very simple way to look at it. And so that is how we pick our foods. And there are a million ways, like, oh, I can't eat the same food over and over. Most people eat the same 4 meals per meal. So sure you can.
Another really cool thing is it simplified our grocery shopping and our budget as well. It really has, because we know these are the foods that we choose from. It's easier. We order groceries so we don't go into the grocery store and are tempted by all of the things. Saves us time as well to order them and have them delivered. But it's really cut down on our expenses as well. There's another myth out there that people think, oh, eating healthy is so expensive. It can be, but if you're choosing the foods that are in season, you look for sales, it's not. You're going to find that you're going to save a lot of money.
A lot of money. And that simplifies it too, right? So when we look at simplifying the grocery ordering, well, how do we simplify this thing? Well, we tend to have the same base products over and over. And you mentioned the butcher shop, but it's the reason we do that is because it is basically the same price now. As a lot of the mass chain grocery stores, and there's no hormones and all that. But to make this simple, let's not overcomplicate this with grass-fed, grass-finished organic. If you have the budget to do that, by all means, we truly encourage it. If you can shop at a local market and get your things locally, by all means, do that. But most people, the average American, their diet is over 72% ultra-processed today. So let's not get bogged down in the whole, like, I need organic, grass-fed, grass-finished, like somebody prayed over this thing and sang it a song while it slept. Just eat meat. I don't actually care if it's from Walmart at this point, if that's what you can afford. And before, again, you hit me with it, but it has hormones and antibiotics. If you're eating an ultra-processed diet, it's still better. It's still better. And then let's slowly. And what you're going to find is, and everybody in the academy has said this is a direct quote. I love this quote. It actually comes from everybody that I've ever worked with, even my high-end clients, right, that are like paying me thousands of dollars. It's like I'm getting paid to lose weight and have more energy. Like, can you imagine saying I'm getting paid to lose weight and have more energy and more freedom in my health? How is that so? Because they're not spending, we're not spending, you won't be spending all this money on these things that aren't helping you carry out your calling.
Because it's God's design. When you live in alignment with Him, everything gets so much simpler. It gets so much clearer.
And the meals take so long for people because they're making these complex recipes. Yes. The more ingredients you have in your food, the longer it's going to take, the more calories it's going to have, and the more expensive it's going to be. When we limit things to PVC, for the most part, it's very inexpensive. The sauces are expensive.
Yeah, and you also typically eat less this way as well. When you're combining everything and mixing it, making the casseroles, you're going to eat more. But when you keep it separate like this, you enjoy it. But when you're full, it's easier to stop eating. And
you can mix and match it too.
Yeah.
You can mix and match. Like if you have a bunch of chicken thighs shredded, let's say, because then you can just change your sauces. Now you have, that's a whole nother thing. That's for meal prep. We'll go into that. I think we're there. Anybody have any questions?
But
this isn't live.
It goes back to the staple ingredients too. So I had a friend this week from the academy. She sent, actually she posted in the academy one of the recipes that her family made this past weekend. It was chicken fajitas. Look, she raved about it, said everybody, including her children, ate it. So I'm like, oh, all right, I'm on with this. The really cool thing is that we had all of the ingredients already here at the house. So I was able to make it the next day day. And the cool thing is, even though we had all of the ingredients, we've used all of those, it tasted completely different than we've had of anything else.
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah, and I was
Simple.
sick this weekend, so I didn't get to enjoy it. It smelled absolutely incredible, but it was like, okay, well, I'm sick. What am I going to eat? Well, I already had chicken here, and I just brined it and threw it in an Instapot, right? We'll go into the Instapot as far as time goes here in a second. But I had jasmine rice because we keep these staples here. My body at first could only handle jasmine rice. That was all it could handle. And because I had not eaten in 2 days, that jasmine rice was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. If you've been eating Pop-Tarts all day, jasmine rice is going to taste like nothing, but it's all perspective. And so then I was able to combine the chicken and the rice. And then I was able to add, I know this is weird, it's a bodybuilding thing, even though I'm not a bodybuilder. I added mustard because it wouldn't upset my stomach, but it gave me some more flavor. Then I was able to add mustard and honey. And you just slowly started building these things. I don't expect you to do that. But the point is, you just keep changing the meal. Like then you could change and add some peppers and onions and some sugar-free teriyaki sauce. Now I've got a whole different meal. You could change the whole thing up and mix in buffalo wing sauce. Well, now you've got buffalo chicken and rice. See how simple that is. It's not complicated, I promise you. You've been lied to again. Next, what about meal prep? So how do we simplify this? You've touched on it briefly with your chicken, with your lunches and things like that. So it really is just what?
So I think meal prep is you have to first set aside time to do it. I would say set aside 30 minutes to an hour. You have to get a plan in place, and a plan that works for you and your family. So everybody's plan's going to look different. I do have this in the guide as well that's available in the academy. So yeah, that's the first thing, is to make time. And then you start with the God foods that you already love. And then you're going to use those to plan out your meals. And then once you have your meals planned out, then you're going to go ahead and actually schedule your meals. So there's like a weekly chart that I do. I actually posted one in here. It looks like this. We also have one on our refrigerator. And so we'll look at all of the meals where we're all eating together and just figure out, or if the kids have sports one night, okay, that night's going to be leftovers, figuring out our schedule. And then you just plug your meals in, working smarter and not harder. And then once I plug the meals in too, I always double up. So if I'm going to make burgers one night, we're going to make enough burgers so then the next night we can do something else with the extra burgers. So then 2 nights are taken care of.
To be fair, we make a ton of extra burgers because I love eating those.
Yeah.
And so again, it's 93.7 beef. So there's nothing wrong with having a burger. Again, burgers are not off limits. It's the most simple way to have that food that you like a burger, is just to use a leaner cut of meat. And I have to add this. When we met, there was this pull, there was this guilt, this mom guilt of taking the time to, I remember sitting there asking you, we were sitting in the kitchen in the old house when I came to visit, and you had this guilty look on your face. And I was like, what's up? And you're like, my kids are off. Like, I want to be spending time with them, but I'm over here meal prepping for the week. And I know I need to do it, but I feel guilty. And I asked you a really simple question. Do you remember it?
I think it was, well, why don't you have them help you with it? Yeah. And so I did. Then I started having them help, and now they continue to help us. And it's turned into such a sweet time for us. Wonderful family time. It's teaching them valuable skills, not only about how to cook different meals, but also how to eat healthier. It's just been wonderful. And now Mason will go and he completely grills the burgers, does it all.
Yeah, he'll grill the chicken. Malpal will go in there and cut up the watermelon or the cantaloupe and put it in a bowl for us. So they're vested in this. And if they want some of that extra, they'll just go cut the dadgum thing up themselves.
And another thing that we've also done to help simplify the meal schedule is each of them, they're responsible for one dinner every night. And it does have to be approved by me, so they know they can choose any of the God foods that they want. And so they put the meal together. I make sure that the items are ordered, and then they will be the one who mainly prepares it. One of us will be their sous chef, and has helped to simplify and also to teach them and to raise them the right way.
And that's where we would use something like that chicken fajita meat that you made the other day. Like, we're going to eat it like that, but you can also have it with rice. They may have it with a tortilla or bread and have a chicken Philly, chicken Philly. Again, it's levels. We're not expecting, nobody's saying, hey, your kid needs to eat 100%, right? Is it a better idea? Yes, so they don't struggle with the thing you're struggling with now. That's a simple perspective, right? But my kid, like, they deserve to be a kid. I have to make this side note. Why would you feed your kid the thing that you're struggling with just because they want it? Simplified biblical perspective. Does our Heavenly Father give us everything we want or everything we need? Because as far as I'm concerned, my top roles in this family are to lead this family. And the mark of leading this family is to make sure that we are close to the Lord and that y'all are healthy and taken care of. Healthy. That is one of the top responsibilities as a Christian parent in raising up our children in the way of the Lord. So children, I understand it. Our kids, it is tough. Again, we're running a business. We're scaling a business. I travel every single week. We're traveling 4 days this week for work. We're running this podcast. We're doing all these things. All 3 kids are in school. We got it. But a lot of people use their kids as the reason they don't eat well, when in fact that your kid should be the reason you do eat well, even when it's not convenient.
Right.
Because it's not just about you and it's not about convenience, because nothing biblical says choose the convenient, easy, comfortable option. Comfort's a whole nother topic. But seriously, that is a truth bomb. Your kids can be the reason you're unhealthy, and they're unhealthy as a byproduct, or they can absolutely be the reason that you do the hard thing and break free from the things that you've struggled with. This is coming from somebody that struggled with his weight most of his life. And so when I talk to my guys, they're like, oh, bro, like, I'm struggling. It's hard. It's a lot. Like, I know it's hard. I know it's a lot. Do it anyway.
Yes. Yeah, because life is never going to get easier or calmer.
No, you're just going to get better at it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The perfect time is now. Anyway, that's a whole different episode. So with the meal prep, the other thing here is this. When it comes to meal prep, make extra. Make the meats. That's easy.
Yes. And then just keep a couple. This has helped tons. So I was great at, okay, I can come up with the different proteins we're going to have, but then it's like, oh, but then I have to come up with the sides too. Like that's a whole nother thing to do. So what I learned is we just rotate through some of the very basic, simple sides. Diced potatoes, rice, fruit salad, corn on the cob, pickles. Pickles can be a side.
Sweet taters.
Sweet potatoes.
Tomatoes.
Yeah, sliced tomatoes. Yeah, we just keep that very simple and very basic, and then we'll season those, and that's it, and we move on.
And if your life is super crazy, I had this conversation a couple times. The lady said, well, one of my guys, he's just gone. Like he's gone. Another one said, well, I had somebody else recently ask me, well, how do I eat well in a dorm? And somebody else said, well, how can I tell my kid to eat well? Well, this is the same thing with somebody's traveling, living out of hotel rooms. So we're traveling this week. So we're just going to bring our food with us. Are we going to eat out once or twice over the 4 days? Sure. Our big thing is a coffee shop. How does this look if it's simple? Well, either bring it with you, and before you go, make extra so that when you come home, this is what I told him. And one of my guys, Mike, is a flight attendant. He's like, well, when I get home, I'm like, yeah, make extra, throw it in the freezer.
Yes.
That way, in case something crazy happens and you get delayed, there's your backup plan. It's a frozen meal that you made. He's like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? Why would you? But for the one, we get so caught up in this organic thing. This is simple. How long does this take? Always have a backup of frozen chicken or frozen meat that you can throw in the microwave or the air fryer.
Yes.
Boom. Steam in a bag veggies. Not ideal, but great in a pinch. Takes 2 minutes. So then your meal's done. You can microwave sweet potatoes. You can microwave the corn. Again, is it the optimal answer on paper via the World Health Organization? Probably not.
No.
Is it probably better than grabbing something fast food? Yes, and a lot less expensive.
Practical.
So that whole meal would take you 5 to 10 minutes. So please, like, that is faster than any drive-through or DoorDash.
Yes.
And it's cheaper. Okay?
And more nutritious.
And more nutritious.
And from a mom perspective, like traveling or just being on the go every day, what do I typically grab? Well, a protein drink. It's always nice to have those on hand. We have protein powders or premixed ones. It's not the most ideal, but it's better than nothing. And then also God's original fast food, which is fruit, apples, bananas, cherries, grapes, all of those you can grab and go. Have them with you all the time. It's so simple.
That's our grab and go. And we use Vicera because that's super clean.
Yes, it's the only one that won't mess with my stomach.
It's the only one we've ever found. And we are very blessed. That is a Christian-owned company. Chrissy, we love you guys. But it's A2A2 organic. So it is more expensive. Our backup from there would be Thorn. We use them for everything else, but that's how we keep our nutrition. They do a lot of our stuff, like our probiotics and things for on-the-go individual packets, creatine, magnesium when we travel. Our vitamins, they have to go. So that's how we do that on the go as well. This is amino acids and electrolytes because I'm still getting over being sick. That's how we do this on the go. And that's how we coach people to do it is, again, not focusing on the struggle, focus on the solution. That is one of the biggest things that I can impart with you is if you focus on the struggle, you will fail. You will fail. 100%. You're manifesting your failure. Focus on the solution. Focus meditate only on things that are good and holy. This is good. The enemy wants you focusing on the negative. Abundance, solution, failure, like failure. So the travel goes into the fruit. We use the Core Power for on-the-go protein shakes. Those are incredible. They taste like milkshakes. And if you're struggling to get your kid or you want your kid to do that, I've never met a kid that doesn't like those. Right. So are they perfectly clean? No, stop it, relax. That's our travel and the answer to snacking. So the other thing with snacking is when it comes to day to day, we do a lot of fruit and then we love peanuts, but nuts are very easy to overeat. So what's a simple safeguard? Eat them the way God intended. You have to shell it yourself. That'll slow you down. You'll probably get bored. Maybe your fingers will bleed.
Well, yes, you can overeat them, but what's the problem with overeating them? It's because they're very high in calories and fat. Yes. So while they're very healthy and nutritious for you, you just don't want to be throwing handfuls of them into your mouth.
So this goes into preparation and wisdom. Okay. Let's go into the late night snacking and the junk food. One of the most common things that I help coach people through, and Leah does. So Leah is stewarding her biggest responsibility with us besides trying to keep me straight and on task is running the academy. I help with the academy. That's her thing. Mine is more one-on-one. And the science of everything and the behavioral psych is the junk food, right? I struggle with food. I struggle with snacking. I struggle with eating.
I'm good all day long. And then late at night, the bottom falls out.
And the most basic question I can ask anybody is, why is it in the house? Like seriously, like if you struggle with something, why is it in the house? This goes into my analogy that I love. Leah, do you trust me?
I do.
You think I'm gonna cheat on you?
No, Matthew.
I travel a lot.
Yes.
I'm kind of a fine hunk of man.
Yes, you are handsome.
I would flirt with me. That would actually make me get. Never mind. That's a whole thing. Would you let a prostitute stay in our spare bedroom?
No.
Why?
Because I don't trust her.
But you trust me, and I'm not going to say yes.
Yes, it's just stupid.
Why is it stupid?
It doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense?
Why would we do that? It's a tempt. No.
So it's unnecessary temptation.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Same thing with Cool Ranch Doritos.
Right. Like why would you keep a prostitute in your pantry and then wonder why you can't resist it? It's ridiculous, but it's for my kids. Again, why are you feeding the thing to your kids that you're struggling with? And why are you eating it if it's for your kids?
Yes. Well, and another thing that you can do, because I totally understand why some of these things are still in your house. And now, if you live on your own and you are the only person coming in and out and purchasing things, then yes, you should not be buying it at all. There are a lot of things that I do not buy because I don't have the self-control. So I simply don't buy them. Now, if I have, which we do have kids, we try not to keep it in the house. So what we do is we keep the special things special. We do love ice cream. So we'll go out and we'll have ice cream. So it's not completely off limits, but we just don't make it as easily accessible. Another thing is if you are married and your spouse is not on board, that complicates it on so many levels. And so they may not support not having these things in the house. My suggestion would be if they're not going to help you not by having it in the house, ask them if at least they can take it and put it so it's out of view or somewhere where you don't know where it is, so it's not as easily accessible for you.
Can I speak on this one with the spouses? Because I deal with this a lot.
Yeah, you do.
That ain't Bible. The Bible says, and it speaks directly on this with food, if it causes another believer to stumble, do not do. Have the conversation with your spouse. Have the conversation. And more often, in my experience, it's the husband who is unwilling to stop buying these things. Have the conversation with your husband. If he ain't on board, it's not a food issue. It's not even a marital issue. It's a him issue, understanding his biblical role and his biblical responsibility. Because my job is to love my wife like Christ loves the church. And if that doesn't work, I'll have a call with him. We'll have a chat. Because seriously, like that is not Bible. It's not. Like that is not okay.
It's a situation that a lot of people find themselves in, and then because it is another layer of challenge and difficulty, then they will just stop trying to live a healthy, well-stewarded life. So
Yeah, I mean, seriously, like, why wouldn't you want? That's what just confuses me. And this is a whole nother episode. We need to do a whole episode on this. Comment in this thing or message us if you'd like us to do a whole episode on, like, the husband-wife sitch. Like, why wouldn't you want your spouse to be healthy? Like, how selfish would you have to be? And nothing in the Bible is about selfishness. Nothing. Like, it's mind-blowing to me. So, dude, if you're listening to this, and that's you, knock it off. I don't want it. It doesn't matter what you want. Seriously. Anyway, that's y'all just got me from being goofy. But I will talk to men like that. Ladies, don't worry. I don't talk to my ladies like that. But seriously, like, why is this thing in the house? And it's not that we don't eat it. We do love the ice cream. I did bring some home yesterday for you because I know that, like, the cookies and cream is your thing. And I wanted to, and we sat there and I read and we were reading Tender Warrior and you ate your ice cream.
Yeah, and it was also just a small pint. It wasn't the big, huge quart, gallon.
And the kids, they do get their Cinnamon Toast Crunch, but they get one individual thing a week. They can eat it whenever they want, but that's also teaching them stewardship. But the question is this isn't just about food when it comes to ultra processed snacks and the late night thing. The question I ask is, why are you spending God's money on something that's destroying his temple that you know that you can't control? This isn't just about health, and it's not just about those things. It's why are you, like, that's poor stewardship of money. It's poor stewardship of health. It's lack of wisdom, and then wondering why you don't have the willpower. Willpower is not even biblical. Like, using a lot of willpower that I hear Christians, like, that's, look how strong I am. That becomes self-worship. Yes. So how do we keep this simple? Keep it out of the house and make it special. Like Dawn did. They used to eat ice cream while watching TV. Well, your brain can't even tell you that it's full at this point. But now they ride their bikes to an ice cream shop and then keep it special. That's beautiful. We love cinnamon rolls, right? But right now in this season, it's oatmeal raisin cookies, y'all. If anybody listening to this makes a killer oatmeal raisin cookie, like, I will hook y'all up with some swag or something in the academy if you will hook me up with an oatmeal raisin cookie. Our address is 2898. I will.
No, because I won't be able to stop myself.
I have far less willpower than you do. Y'all don't understand. I will binge eat until I get ill.
Yeah, you will.
I really will. She's watched it. I'm like a lab puppy or a goldfish. But we do have the oatmeal raisin cookie on Saturday. We go to the farmer's market, and there's this lady that makes this killer rosemary garlic bread. And arguably, except for last week, one of the best, probably the best oatmeal raisin cookie I've ever had. But we do it on that then, and then we do it right after a workout. So our body soaks up the sugar. That's a whole science lesson, but that's that. And it tastes so much better because it's fresh. Yes. It's local. We look forward to it all week, and we don't tell ourselves no. It's just yes the rest of the week to stewarding this, and then yes on Saturday to grabbing our Finca coffee. Shout out to those guys. Jags Head Coffee. Order it. Like, much love. But we get that latte and we get the oatmeal raisin cookie and possibly even some of the sourdough pretzels for Madeline. And we love it. And then we go back to normal. We didn't ruin anything.
And just to simplify as well, all of this highly processed man-made foods, we hit on it, but this was mind-blowing to me when Matthew taught me that nowhere in nature is there the combination of, when it comes to food, sugar, salt, and fat. That is man-made. And the reason why that combination exists in these highly processed prepackaged foods that we buy that aren't really foods, they're
drugs disguised as food.
Yeah, is that it activates your brain so you literally cannot stop eating them. We're laughing the other day about Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. They're literally telling us once you start eating them, you can't stop them. That is how.
But then we sit there and we go, why can't I stop? They told you.
Yes. And then we think the problem's us. Like, I can't stop. I can't control. Well, yeah, they created it so we can't control ourselves.
Yeah. I mean, it was like me as an alcoholic, like sitting here going, I can't stop drinking. Why would you have in the house? Right. It is one of those things. Like, so to speak into that, like, it is not your fault that you can't stop. You're not broken. Like, if you could have all of these things and eat these things, like, your brain is actually, it's doing what it's designed to do. There are scientists that make this thing to keep you, like, hooked to these things. And then we wonder why we can't stop. You're not supposed to be able to stop. You're not supposed to be able to stop. And that's one of the things that, this is a whole nother episode. We go, there's this thing that I've coached, everything in moderation, 80-20. These things, these drugs disguised as food, were not created for you to be able to moderate them. They don't fall under that necessarily. It doesn't make sense. Yes. Of course you're craving it. It was designed to make you crave it, right? That's like the single guy, the 16-year-old going, I'm craving porn. I know. It activates all those things in your head that are just not natural, with these acts that are not natural, and wondering why you can't stop. Of course you can't. It was designed for you not to be able to stop. But it's also, we can't just sit here and go, well, I'm addicted to it, because that's placing your identity in the struggle. Your identity is in Christ. So if you say, like, that is one of the things I learned as a former addict. People go, oh, you're an addict? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's a whole nother episode, but no, you're not. Your brain is doing what it's supposed to do. So stop setting it up for failure. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Y'all, I love y'all. I will, right?
Another simple thing to help with late night snacking, go to bed. Just go to bed.
Brush your teeth.
Brush your teeth and go to bed. Sleep is so important to how God designed us. He doesn't want you up late at night missing out on great sleep. So go to bed.
And the simple trick too, again, is like, I love giving simple tips. All right. So I'll reel myself back on up in here. But the other night I went to the pantry and I was going to binge, but there was nothing in the pantry for me to binge on. So I ended up just eating top Angus sirloin cold out of the fridge. And eventually I just got bored. I was like, no, I'm just going to go to bed. So say yes. Give yourself the yes to, cool, like, I'm allowed to have all of this protein I want. You're going to get bored. You're going to stop eating it. You're not going to be able to overeat it. Or the fruit. If you have this sugar craving, what's a simple way to do that? Cool. You're allowed to have all the fruit you want. Okay. Before you hit me with the sugar, just try it. You're going to get sick of it. And even if you ate 3 cups of cantaloupe, you're at 130 calories. Ooh. So that's the simple. The other is check yourself. Check yourself. Have I eaten adequate protein today? Right? Protein is the most satiating thing. It's going to keep you full. Right? That's the fullness simple hack. Eat as much volume as humanly possible. How do I do that? Vegetables and fruits and lean meats take up a lot of space in your stomach. Oils, butters, things like that take up no space in your stomach. The ultra processed foods, right? They are super high calorie laden foods. They don't take up a lot of space. They have no nutrients. So no wonder you're craving things late at night. The other one is this simple tip. Is this really about food or am I stressed? So that's a whole nother episode. We'll link the rethinking emotional eating, but the simple check here is this. Am I actually hungry or am I stressed? Here's your simple tip for that. This is the only one that I'm going to touch here on this one. If you find yourself wanting to binge eat because of stress, celebrate, rejoice. If you find yourself at the end of the night wanting to binge eat because of stress, celebrate and rejoice, because you have just identified an area in your life that's to pull you closer, where you can go to him and lean on him and his strength and his word and draw close to him because you don't have the strength. That is reason to celebrate, don't you think?
Yes, it is. And then journal. Go and journal.
So I know I get off topic. You did a great job staying on topic. We hope this answered a lot of the things for you. To keep it simple, though, we do cover these things in the Temple Keeper Academy. I know we've mentioned that. These are some of the guides. We do have an emotional eating guide. We do have the God Food Guide. We have our new guide coming out. Will you tell people who aren't familiar about the Academy what we're doing in there? Because most people think, to keep this one simple, I don't have the bandwidth to do another program. So you kept it ridiculously simple.
Yes, very simple. It's laid out step by step, day by day, tells you exactly what to do. It helps you to honor God in your health. And it's just an absolutely incredible space that we have. There's a lot of people in there. We have daily teachings as well, where you
That's in the blueprint, correct?
Yep.
Tell them about the blueprint real quick.
So the blueprint is actually like the actual lessons that help you with your health and wellness. We focus on 4 main pillars. So we'll help you with nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress management. We weave the biblical principles into all of that. And that really helps to give you the information that you need to know how to steward your body and get healthy. The really cool thing is that in the first section, we don't really focus on weight loss. It's just more so aligning yourself with him, establishing this firm foundation. But most people end up losing weight. Is really cool. Losing weight as a byproduct, go figure. But yeah, when you do things according to God's way, that's how it works out. So,
but I only have 10 minutes every day.
That's totally fine. We'll take that 10 minutes. Might take you a little bit longer.
But I went on
That's okay.
vacation and missed 3 days.
That's okay. Start where you left off.
So it doesn't require me to never miss a day. It's not like 45 hard.
No, yes, no, it's not like 45 hard. It is just do what you can when you can, but if you can do it every single day, that would be
And we encourage you to do it every day. Like it's 10 minutes. Well, what about the community aspects?
Yep. So the community aspect, in addition to, so we call that the blueprint, which I kind of just went over. That's like the teaching part of it. The community is where everybody that's in there just shares where they are in the process. They share their highs and their struggles. It's just a beautiful thing. We do daily posts that focus on different teachings. There's a theme every week. So
there's daily teachings too.
There's daily teachings.
So there's the blueprint and the daily teaching.
Yes. So this week our theme is simplicity. So there's daily teachings every day on simplicity. Last week we focused on joy. Joy was last week. We've also done surrender and freedom.
So what's Thursday? If I have questions that need to be answered, what's Thursday?
So Thursday is when we have our community coaching call with Matthew. Yep. So that's a great time for people. More teaching. You share. People can ask you directly any questions that they have. But yeah, as you're going through, if you have questions on any day, you have access to me. We also have accountability groups where you can ask questions in there or just in the community.
And what if I need a little bit more? What about accountability? Is there any real accountability?
Yes, there is real accountability. We have accountability groups that if you would like more accountability, you can choose to be a part of an accountability group. I pay attention to who is in there and
what about Thursday? What happens on Thursday? What do they get?
The community coaching call.
What do they get on Thursday? What do they send you?
Oh, they're the check-in. There's a weekly check-in too. There's different questions on the form just about how you've done.
It's a weekly check-in. Yeah, cool. And then
just get to the point.
Yeah, just get to the point. I'm one to talk, right? I'm the most verbose person in the world.
Simple.
I'm not the expert on that, but we have weekly check-ins. So it's a blueprint. It is daily posts and teachings. There is sharing and support and community because people are like, oh man, I fell off. I know we're called to do this in community. And you're like, I wonder why I can't stay on track. You're trying to do it by yourself, you dunce. But I say that as a joke. Okay. Cause I've tried that for years. And weekly coaching calls. Last week I coached on the joy of gut health, the gut health. Yeah, you can't feel joy. And then people had questions. So I covered a bunch of things and gave some simple answers. So there's a lot there. And if you need more, yes, we do one-on-one. I'm not going to go into all of that. But anyway, Leah, if you could tell somebody just make one step today, one step, what would be the first thing you would tell them to simplify with their food?
To simplify with their food, ask this question. Is what I'm about to eat going to glorify God?
Oh, that's good. That's way gooder.
What would you have?
Does this even make sense? How would this look if it was simple? Just to make it simple. If you're like, man, I shouldn't have this fruit because there's too much sugar. Would you ever tell your kid not to eat an apple? Right? Oh, I can't have this rice because it's going to make me fat. The cultures that eat rice all the time overweight. Right? How would this look if it was simple?
And right? With this choice, glorify God.
I like that one better too. Anyway.
And if the answer is yes, then do it. And if the answer is no, then find a solution where it would glorify Him.
That's way better than what I had. Y'all, we love you. We thank you. Again, share this, comment. We're going to put all the other stuff in the show notes. We love y'all.